Hi, I'm Lindsay. See Rollick, the number one.
Who let the dogs out? 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 Who let the dogs out?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to OC Raw Talk episode number 9. Today is Friday, so that means it's Friday Product Feature Friday. Today we're going to talk about beef and produce sliders. We're going to have a quick little chat about the benefits, how they're easy to feed, and the proportion sizes. Not only that, but talk a little bit about the formulation that goes into the beef and produce sliders. And on top of that, our Director of East Coast Sales, Mr. Jim Dwyer, is going to join us. Jim is commuting back from Atlanta to Pennsylvania. He was recently at the Southeast Sales Show down in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're going to try and patch Jim in on the phone as he's actually commuting back from his road trip. We look forward to that. But first thing we're going to do is obviously this dog needs no introduction. We are going to show you a video that when I watched this, I was on the floor. I seriously was laughing so hard I couldn't contain it. This husky has had their own music. Her name is Sasha. Her own music has been composed. She sings with the music, and it's hilarious. She actually blends in with the melody, and you have to watch this to believe it. It's great. We're going to watch that, and then we're going to go directly to hopefully catching Jim Dwyer on his commute back from Atlanta, Georgia. You're watching OC Raw Talk episode number 9. We're going to be right back.
Sing, Mishka. Good girl. Sing. Good girl. Sing. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. All right, now let's play. Ready? Let's play back. Sing, Mishka. I love you. Sing. Oh. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. You wanna listen to your song? Sing, Mishka. Good girl. Good girl. Sing, Mishka. Good girl. Sing. Good girl.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. OC Raw Talk episode 9. I am joined right now on the phone as he's commuting back from a very successful sales show down in Atlanta, Georgia. Jim Dwyer. Jim, how are we doing this evening?
We're doing great, Doug. How about you?
Fantastic. You know, can you tell our viewers, Jim, just a little bit about what your role is with OC Raw Dog and what you do for the company, please?
Sure. My official title is I'm the Regional Sales Director for the East Coast. Essentially, my task is to help develop existing stores with OC Raw to grow the line in the stores and educate store employees, store owners, and customers about the benefits of using raw food and OC Raw in particular. In addition, I'm tasked with growing the line in new stores. So I look for stores that are existing raw or maybe are looking to get into raw, and I help educate them on what really sets OC Raw apart from other raws out there and how we're not just the typical frozen food in a bag like a lot of other people. And then finally, I work with distributors and help the distributor reps educate them to get the correct message out and the company's branding out in front of stores and customers through the demos and through distributor presentations.
Well, I think you bring up a very interesting point. When you talk about other foods that are out there, what do you, obviously with you working for OC Raw Dog, what do you think makes OC Raw Dog so successful when people are first introduced to it?
Well, I think the first thing that really attracts people is when they look at the guaranteed analysis and they're looking at the protein and the fat content, and it blows them away. Especially if the store has other brands in there. Oftentimes, the fat level on our beef will actually be lower than our competitors' chicken. And it amazes them when they see that. And then the second thing is the unique proteins we have. I mean, yes, we've got your industry standards, your beef, your chickens, your turkeys, but rabbit being 100% U.S. rabbit, and then goat and lamb, these are very unique, these are very in-demand proteins because they play a very important role in a dog's health.
Right.
And then the final thing I think that gets it is once they buy a bag and they see the palatability, I mean, I really, just off my experience, the palatability of OC Raw seems to be so much better than many of the brands out there.
Well, I mean, very valuable points. We were just last week talking about features and benefits. Being in the fact that you introduce OC Raw Dog to a lot of retailers and have that opportunity to talk, what do you think 3 of the most important things are about the OC Raw Dog brand that makes it easy for you to introduce the product and have somebody immediately want to carry it in their store?
Well, that's a great question. I would say the thing that attracts stores, first of all, is our packaging. I mean, not to sound fluffy about things, but the truth is that packaging and the attractiveness of the packaging presents well in the retail environment, and that's what makes most of the people out there looking at things want to buy.
Right.
Visual presentation is very important. I think the second thing is we're the only ones out there that do the doggy dozen, and retailers all want a frequent buyer program.
Right.
But a frequent buyer program, while it sounds great, is a logistical nightmare for most of these retailers. I always make the joke of, yeah, you've got to keep UPCs, receipts, fill out cards, and then you have to submit your credit on the third Thursday when the sun is in Capricorn and you're standing on your left leg. And it sounds ridiculous, but the truth is that most manufacturers have really tightened the reins on these things.
Right.
And getting their credits hard. Well, with the doggy dozen, your customer gets instant gratification because they're getting a little piece of their free bag right there at the time they buy.
Right.
And the retailer likes the fact that there isn't the paperwork and the hustle bustle and, oh God, I hope I get this credit this month prayer. And I think the third thing that really gets it is we have such an interesting selection, and not just in our proteins, but in the presentation of the bags. For example, our niblets, we're the only ones that really do a bulk size niblet. And when you think that most people buying niblets are small dog owners, and most small dog owners are doing 2 to 3 dogs, a 3-pound bag of niblets is 2 to 3 days. Who
Right.
honestly wants to go to the pet store every 2 to 3 days? We're busy people. We don't have time.
Right.
Whereas a 7-pound bag of niblets, that can get that person 5 to 7 days worth of food. This is more acceptable. Our mini patties, doing 1-ounce patties as opposed to 2 like everyone else. If you have a small breed dog and you're feeding 2 ounces a day, you no longer have to break up a patty with your hand and then wonder, why is Fido waking me up at 4 o'clock in the morning? Well, that's because you fed Fido 1.3 ounces in the morning and 0.7 in the evening, and he's hungry early.
Right.
So I think that people look at those, and it really is attractive. It's easy. We make raw simple for the average person to figure out how to do it.
Right. Right. No, I wholeheartedly agree with that. How have things been going for you on the East Coast? I mean, obviously a lot of new businesses have been picking up the Raw Dog brand, and sounds like, how was the show for you down in Atlanta? Was it a good time out there?
Well, actually, Doug, if you don't mind, I want to back up to the show 2 weeks prior at Global, which was our premiere at the Global Pet Show in Orlando, and that was just a giant. It blew up. I could not believe how many stores that had never carried OC Raw before wrote a deal right there and brought in the product for the first time. Southeast Pets Buying Show in Atlanta, again, I had quite a few stores that when they came up and they took a look at us, they said, "Oh my God, where have you been my whole life?" They're just happy to see it. We showed the freeze-dried product. I had some samples that I was showing customers. Every person that looked at our freeze-dried said, "It's the most attractive freeze-dried they see. They can't wait to get it in." We talked a lot about the new upcoming pumpkin rocks, which I can tell you right now, if a store has a freezer, they will want this product. It is by far one of the best things out there. 2-pound bag of frozen pumpkin niblets. It's just to die for. And every retailer that's seen it cannot wait to get it in. And then I saw quite a few people that, when they saw our Doggy Dozen, said, "This is just the most ingenious thing. You've made my life so much easier. And your price point fits so perfect because we are not the cheapest raw on the market, but we are not the most expensive raw." And
Right.
truth be told, your average consumer doesn't want to buy cheap, but they don't want to buy expensive. We fit perfect in that little niche.
Well, I mean, that's all great news to hear that things are going so well, and obviously very, very successful. And a lot of that comes from the way that Toby and Olivia orchestrate not only the brand management, but oversee a lot of the daily operations, from the production of the food to the inspection to things that are purchased and bought. And as you know, OC Raw Dog, as you and I both are aware, everything that goes into that is 100% natural. There's no corn, there's no grains, there's no fillers. You're making the best choice for your pet when you pick up a bag. And final question for you, Jim. Obviously, your pet's at home. What's your dog's favorite protein from OC Raw Dog?
Actually, Doug, I'm going to get you here. I don't have a dog. I have a cat. Well, I rephrase that. I serve Her Imperial Majesty the cat. Nobody owns a cat. You serve the cat. You own a dog.
Right.
And my cat, I have actually tried my cat on OC Raw rabbit niblets, and she adored them.
She loves it.
I'm also very, very excited about the OC Raw cat formulas, which are coming out next month. My cat is anxiously awaiting this because we're releasing them in 3 of her favorite flavors. So I'm very excited to see how she feeds with. I believe it's going to be very palatable if it's anything compared to the existing protein sources that we have now.
Well, that's, that's great to hear it. OC Raw Dog branching out to the feline. As you know, they already have the 3 proteins out there, but they're going to be introducing the whole new product line for cats. It's amazing. You just can't say enough positive things. And we have had other people who have come to us and told us that their cats really do enjoy the dog formula. But again, getting more back to the specifics, now they'll have their own line that's coming out, and it's more specialized than what we currently offer today. Jim, I want to obviously thank you for your time. I know you're making that hefty trip back from Atlanta to Pennsylvania. Wish you obviously safe travels. Thank you so much for being on the show and being a guest with us today.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Doug. It's been a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest has been Jim Dwyer. He is the East Coast Sales Director for OC Raw Dog, and we wish him safe travels. We're going to use this opportunity now to introduce you to a great video we hope you're going to get a kick out of. As we know, it's becoming warmer outside. The weather is gorgeous. It's that time of year to walk your dog, and just some great opportunities to spend some more outdoor time with your pets. We're going to take a look at what happens when we would let our young ones actually walk our dogs. So let's go to this video of children and their dogs going for walks. I hope you're going to laugh as hard as I did the first time I saw this. We'll be right back. Well, Friday, Product Feature Friday, and boy, I can't say that 3 times fast. I've been trying to. We're going to talk about OC Raw Dog Beef and Produce Sliders. Now, sliders are very similar to the OC Raw Dog patties. You know when you buy OC Raw Dog patties, you get 12, but we give you that bonus Baker dozen, you get the 13th, right? For free. Here, with the OC Raw Dog sliders, basically what you're doing is your pet is getting a slider. It's very similar if you and I were to go to a restaurant and order the sliders on the menu. 3 sliders, as you know, not as big as a burger, but feel you, these are great for snacking in smaller dogs. Now, as our guest on tonight's show, Jim Dwyer, will talk about, he'll call them niblets. But basically, what happens with the sliders is it's got its feeding direction right on the back of every package of OC Raw Dog based on your dog's weight. So the whole idea is, how many sliders a day should you give your dog? Well, it answers all those questions for you. It's so easy and makes it so efficient for you to feed your dog. If your dog weighs a certain amount, you shouldn't go over this limit. However, sometimes dogs have a tendency to get a little hungry, so it's okay if you do want to give them that extra slider. It's not going to hurt. One of the greatest things about OC Raw Dog here, 90% protein. So you're giving your dog 90% beef when you're using these sliders, just like you are with any other OC Raw Dog protein. Vegetables are mixed in, also known as produce, and fruits. So your dog is getting 90% protein plus 10% vegetables and fruits. This is great for the diet, all natural. I will say this again very proudly. No fillers, no corns, no anything, no grains. None of the materials that are used in the making of OC Raw Dog are any sort of synthesis of putting in something to fill. You get fresh fruit. You get the fresh vegetables. They are ground in to the beef. Everything is USDA approved, inspected, and when it goes into the product packaging and you give it to your pet for the first time, you'll see why your pet loves it so much. Thanks for watching Product Feature Friday. Again, Nellie's on the bag. You may remember Nellie. She was on the show a couple weeks back. She did a great job. We watched her go through 2 patties in a matter of seconds. But anyway, thank you so much for watching OC Raw Dog Talk episode number 9. We'll be back next week with another episode. Have a great weekend, everybody.